Hello, my name is Patsy and I work for Tusla in St Helena's in Finglas South. As part of my training, I was invited to a mehel to find out what mehel was all about, and it was a new way of working with families. And to be honest, I was very, very sceptical because I've worked for a long number of years with the Health Board, and a lot of times I never saw good results because there was not a lot of accountability. And so I went for the training and thought, oh well, let's see how this works out. Anyway, after a couple of months, I was invited to a mehel meeting to support one of the mothers that I work with in my life skills programme. And the truth is, I was actually blown away because there were 6 people at the meeting, and everybody at that meeting had a role to play, all from different services. And the one thing that they were there for was to support the child. And the child is the centre. It's like you sit the child on the table in the room and you look at what's best for them. Everybody got a job to do, whether it was to ring for a psychologist or to contact the principal of the school. It worked really, really well. After about 3 meetings with the mother and the child, if the child was there, you could see huge results. And it just had a really positive atmosphere in the room, and the most important person was the child was getting the help they needed. I have attended about 4 or 5 mehels since then, and I would promote it. It definitely works.
This young person was referred to the Gardaí Diversion Project 12 months ago for engagement in antisocial behaviour in the town area. He was involved in individual work, one-to-one work, but it's proven difficult and we weren't seeing much change in any types of behaviour. So this is why I suppose we went into looking at the possibility of a mehel process for this young person. We could see the young person coming out of himself more engaged, his hood was down, and a real positive transformation then as we went towards the finish of the process.
That would come into school as well. When the process went on, the more engaged, the more, I suppose, outspoken and outward he became. What has gone well in relation to this young person is that this young person was moving towards expulsion, and now this person has went through, got his junior certificate, passed it, and has now moved into transition year and is actually engaging well. This is definitely something that I have and I would champion as a very important and a great practical role and important, I suppose, intervention piece that can be done with a young person.
I think what's going on in this agency is really pioneering and groundbreaking in child participation. I've already been sort of sending links across the world to say, here's a whole agency that's actually top to bottom and across is genuinely trying to do this. And actually the more evidence that we have of that, the more convincing the case will be. So it's not just persuading individual adults. There's a job here for Tusla and others for persuading other agencies just like yourself worldwide.
I came from residential care myself, and that's why I'm a part of this group, because one of the main things in the group is kids kind of relate to other kids who've been through a lot or been through services that they can't really explain. If they know that we're part of the services, they kind of relate to you a bit better. We went to Bray, and there was a committee in Bray with all different services, and we told them exactly what we did to come up with something that the young people want, not the professionals.
Afterwards you kind of learn more about the young people. Like there's one specific young lad, he's kind of always been told like you're a mess or you're this, you're that. So he doesn't have like a great self-image, and coming to this he's kind of like, oh no, my voice actually does matter.
I do enjoy coming here because I am making a change. It's not like a fast change, but slowly and surely, I'm making a change, and I enjoy coming to these meetings.
At the start, what I wanted to achieve was something that could help all children that are working with Tusla services, and I do feel like by the end I did get what I needed.
I was going through a hard time in my life, and I had been through a lot of different types of services over the 4 years, and I was never happy with them. It was good to see how I was feeling and what was going on, but I did not once feel I was actually listened to. I always felt it was about everyone else and never was focused on me. It sounds selfish, but I was there to get help for myself. I felt they always made problems seem worse than they were and always put words into my mouth. But then I met Nicola, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. From feeling dead inside, she actually made me feel alive. I never seen Nicola as a social worker, I always seen her as a best friend. I finally felt I was listened to, whether it was good or bad. And then I got introduced to the group, and it made me realise that I wasn't alone. I always tell myself this little saying: just imagine your life is a rocky mountain. You will fall down a few times, but at the end of the day, you will pick yourself up and reach the top. Our group then got involved in the Children's Charter. This was great because myself and the others got to get our voices across, and now this has made me so much stronger and proud of the person who I have become today. It is my hope that the Children's Charter will give us the chance to finally be heard.
And I got a Baby Incredible Year program. That it's actually kind of it was 6-week program. It's actually hugely helped me. That kind of child's development, how it affects the child.
We found a brochure about the Lifestyle program and decided to give it a try. And we're so happy that we did. The home visitor is coming to our home once a month and delivering new information, answering our questions, supporting us with a kind assistance and reassurance. Most importantly, letting us know that we are doing good as parents. It's a huge deal. That reassurance and guidance is extremely valuable for us. In our case, we're blessed with Margaret Lacey, and she's here today. Through the Lifestyle program, we met Helen Casey, and she's here today as well. Another lovely and inspiring person who introduced us to the parenting course she was running at that time. Being in love with the Lifestyle program, we happily started the course knowing that our family would only benefit from gaining extra parental knowledge.
Hi, my name is Elaine. I'm the manager of a family support service in Galway. Prior to taking up this position, I worked as a child protection social worker for 16 years, and most of that time I was on the duty intake team. In Galway, I suppose we work very closely with the local social work department, and we manage a lot of cases between us. We have regular meetings with the intake manager, the social work team leader and the principal social worker in relation to families we are working with jointly. I also have regular consultations in relation to child protection issues that arise in the cases that we're working with. The communication, I suppose, and engagement between the services is what I feel is important to provide a holistic support service to families and to ensure that it's a minimal intervention. That I think now the focus to refer on to family support services and to have a family support plan, or for the family support service to create a MEHAL plan, is a much more comprehensive and a much better way of providing services to families. And therefore I feel that families are receiving a much better quality service overall.
As a social worker, one of the hardest things I've had to do is to tell a child that they have to move again. Often it's for the third, fourth or more time, and this time they're moving to somewhere that's hours away from where they know their family, their school, their friends. And I've watched their hearts break, and I know, and I've wondered if the time and money that's now being spent could have been spent before. Could we have avoided it? I work as a principal social worker in an agency full of people that I know want to avoid it, but we do need the systems and structures to help us. It feels like we're starting the process of challenging ourselves to make the systems work for children and families, putting that time and money in place in a real way that might help children to remain with their families and communities. It's not simple and it's not fast, but it is really important and it's essential if we want things to change.
Hello, my name is Greg Mullen, Principal Social Worker covering PPFS in County Wexford. I suppose at this stage PPFS has been embedded into our practice for the last 4 to 5 years in Wexford. It's dovetailing very, very well with our duty and intake and assessment team, and I believe it's making a 100% difference to practice. I think PPFS is the one thing that we've introduced over recent years that has really made a big difference for us at the coalface. Families are getting services quicker, they're getting more appropriate services, and parents and children are more open to receiving those type of non-statutory responses to welfare cases.